Hey everyone, it's me, Rinda Emick from rindaemick.com. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. Go ahead and click subscribe if you're not already. And I have a quick video for you that I wanted to share. It's something I did actually in 2018 with a keto challenge group on Facebook, but I thought the information was so valuable that I wanted to put it here on my YouTube channel as well. So stick around.
Welcome. I'm Rinda Emick, and I have been studying keto nutrition for longer than I've been in like the ketosis diet, but I started in November, which was a horrible idea because it was like right around Thanksgiving, and I did actually pretty good. And I got into ketosis a little bit in and out of ketosis for a while there, and then in January it really started to click, and then it just full-blown like changed my whole world. So I'm really excited to go through this journey with you, and just know that this is a lifestyle. This is not something that you just want to do for the next 5 days or 10 days or 60 days or whatever. It's really changes that you want to make in your diet forever, okay? So if you can, and I know it's going to sound pretty crazy at first, but it's totally doable, and it's amazing. So I feel amazing. Tons of energy, super clarity. I love, there's a campfire analogy. So our bodies and how we've lived, okay, through our 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, whatever, we have been carb dependent. So we've been carb and sugar burners. And this is not how our ancestors were, okay? But so the campfire analogy is that if you think of a campfire and you have a campfire that you just keep throwing wadded up newspaper on, it just burns super fast, it burns super smoky, it's super dirty. That's like what our bodies do when we burn glucose, sugars, and carbs, okay? It's quick energy. Our body burns it fast. It wants to get rid of it. It's toxic, that kind of stuff. That's like what it is, that campfire that is just built with little tiny twigs and a bunch of wadded up newspaper, okay? But if you build a campfire with big, heavy logs and you get it going and you have those logs going really nice and great, then it's going to burn all day long, and it's going to be efficient. It's going to keep you really warm. Your body, or your campfire is going to stay nice and lit for the whole day, and it's going to burn with not as much smoke and not as much nastiness. And that's how it is when your body's burning fat and ketones versus burning carbs and sugar, okay? So I love that analogy because it just made a total sense to me, understanding what's going on the inside, okay? So glucose, sugar, carbs, your body's like burn, burn, burn. It's fast, it's easy, it's quick, it's nasty, get it out, okay? Fat and ketones are preferred by the body, so they love burning that. It's a slower burn, it's a steady burn, and it's more efficient for your body to burn, okay? So that was just a little analogy for you. All right, so what the heck is keto? So you're hearing probably buzzwords all around, and you're gonna have people that are doing kind of keto, and then you're gonna have people who are like, I'm in ketosis, and then they don't even know what that means. So, and that's okay, because we all kind of do that, right? We Google, we research, and we find somebody that we like and we follow that. So, and that's okay. As long as you're making healthier choices, it's a great start. So it's a lifestyle. Keto is a lifestyle. But what is that? Like, what does that mean? Low carb, high fat, moderate protein. So just think of those, let that sink in. Okay, here's the kicker. No sugar, no grains, and no bad oils. How do you do that? Oh my gosh, it's totally possible. What the heck are bad oils? Vegetable oils, stuff that is so chemically altered. It's not even really fatty, but it's chemically altered to become a certain type of fat. There's tons of amazing research on that if you wanted to dive deeper. But chemically altered fats, good healthy fats are really good for our bodies, but these chemically altered ones are no bueno. So no sugar, no grains. So can we commit to that? Do it now. Comment, 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 comment. Do it. Comment, let me see. No sugar, no grains, no bad oils. Let's see if you could do this. I don't know. Some people can't do this, but I would highly, highly recommend that you do attempt to do this. No alcohol for the first 21 days. 0. Can you do that? 0. Okay? And there's different responses in our body when we drink alcohol. We know that it's a toxin and our body wants to get it out right away. It's sugars, it's carbs, it's just junk. So no alcohol for 21 days. Okay? I hope you guys can do that one too. Why keto? The benefits. You don't feel hungry. Like your body is so metabolically efficient that it can burn stored fat. You just don't feel hungry. It's the greatest thing ever. It's the best fuel for your brain, your muscles, your immune system. Okay, the ketones, that is. Ketones, that is the best fuel for your brain and your muscles. And intense focus. Oh my goodness. If you have not experienced something like a high-fat coffee or a ketone supplement, holy moly, talk about focus, okay? So, let's see. Get into ketosis and be fat and keto adapted. So this is a really fun part of this. So, your ketosis is your body's natural process for turning fat into fuel. So if you remember that campfire analogy, okay, your body does not want all that glucose and carbs and sugar and all that junk, okay, but we just put so much of it inside that it's trying to burn it really fast. So the ketosis is your body's natural process for turning fat into fuel. So using that fat, okay, that stored fat. You can either fuel your body with the food you take in, or you can fuel your body with the stored fat that's on your butt, your thighs, your hips, your tummy, wherever it is. And I don't know about you, but I've got some stuff that I want to go. So I'd rather my body start to learn how to efficiently fuel my body from the stored fat instead of the junk that I ingest in, okay? And we want to be efficient fat burning beasts. So we want to teach our body there is enough food and fuel inside for us to burn up and use. So let's do that, okay? Ketosis happens when carbs and sugar are restricted or in between meals or during fasting. So you have to let that sink in, okay? You might hear people say, I'm in ketosis or I'm eating a keto diet, but then they're going and having French fries because it fits in their carbs. And you have to understand, as soon as you ingest and eat a heavy carb, a starchy carb, even if it's really starchy vegetables, a heavy carb or heavy sugary meal, you will kick your body out of ketosis, okay? So you have to understand that. So when carbs are restricted, sugars are restricted, and when you're in between meals, like when you go to bed at night, for instance, and you fast, technically fasting, you know, when you don't eat, so when you're sleeping, you're fasting, in between those meals, your body can burn up all that glucose, all that sugar, and you can be in ketosis, okay? So it's not something that can take a long time, but if you're not eating right, it definitely can. The benefits of this precious ketosis, like why does everybody want to get into ketosis, okay? Your enhanced mood, your better sleep, sharpened focus, increased muscle, improved endurance, burn stored body fat. Hello, that's probably one of the best ones, right? And when carb intake is restricted, your body will turn to burning that fat, which makes you fat and keto adapted. So you're going to start to hear those little bits of vocabulary. You're going to hear ketosis, you're going to hear fat adapted, you're going to hear keto adapted. And all that means is ketosis means your body is producing those ketones, right? Your body is wanting to burn the fat, okay? But that's not the only part. You want your body to know how to use the fat and ketones. If it doesn't know how to properly use them, then you just have a bunch of ketones floating around and you'll just pee them out, okay? So you want to be fat and keto adapted, meaning that you are literally adapted. Your body knows exactly what to do with the ketones, and again, this only happens when you have restricted carb intake, restricted sugar intake, and or in between meals and fasting, okay? So what's the benefits of keto adaptation? Keto adaptation is metabolic efficiency. Your body is an efficient machine on the inside. It knows exactly how to run. It knows, hey, I didn't just eat a meal, so I'm going to go straight to the thighs to take out some stored fat, and I'm going to break that down, and I'm going to use that as energy. That is efficient. That's what our bodies are designed to do. Why do you think we have pounds and pounds of stored fat? We can only store so much glucose. We can only store It's about 2,000 to 2,500 calories. That's it. Between our muscles and our liver, that's all we can store, okay? But we can store thousands of calories of fat, like 40,000, 60,000, depending on your body and your size. So, but you can store so much more fat. And why is that? Because we were designed to go periods of time without eating, right? You sleep, you go periods of time without eating, and your body knows how to go in and use what's stored as energy, okay? So, if you can't tell, I love this kind of stuff. Okay. Keto adaptation, again, metabolic efficiency, you're not hungry, you can function without a meal. This is so huge. You guys, when I for about 2 years, I would eat like similar to a bodybuilding type of diet. I would lift weights and I would eat every 2 to 3 hours, and I would have portioned meals, 40% protein, 40% carbs, and 20% fat. And I kid you not, if I did not eat within 2 to 3 hours, I was a monster. I felt shaky. I felt my heart racing. I felt like I would pass out. I felt like I could not focus. I had no energy. It was awful. I was in amazing shape, but it was awful, okay? Being keto adapted means you can skip a meal, like say you're traveling or say you're busy or say you just don't feel hungry or whatever, and you skip a meal, you can function. Your brain is functioning normal. You feel energetic still, you feel great. You don't have to stress about something like that, okay? It has incredible anti-aging effects, which you can get so much deeper into that research if you wanted to. And of course, the weight and fat loss. Hello, okay? So that's where we want to be. We want to be fat and keto adapted. We want to get into ketosis, and then we want our body to know what to do with being in ketosis, which is being fat and keto adapted, okay? Keys to keto. 1, what you're eating. This is 80% of everything that is going to happen over the next 60 days. If you want results, you have got to focus in on what you're eating, okay? We've talked a lot about that and hope it makes sense why. So eating, you're going to eat about 70% fat, 25% protein, about 5, less than 10% carbs, okay? We're going to get rid of anything that's low fat or non-fat, because I promise you those things are filled with junk. They're filled with either carbs, chemically altered fats or sugars. Usually they're filled with sugars. They're 100% junk, okay? So get rid of anything that's a low carb dressing, a low fat dressing, a non-fat dressing, get rid of non-fat milk, okay? All of those things, get rid of them, all right? We need healthy fats. Fat is not your enemy. Oh my gosh, I used to think if I eat fat, I'm gonna be fat. How many of you did that? I know, if I eat fat, I'm gonna be fat. Okay, no, that's not true. Fat is not the enemy. And actually, as women, we need more fat for our reproductive systems. We need more fat for our hormones, okay? Our whole body, we need more fat. That's why we store more fat. That's why we look different than men, okay? So fat is not the enemy. The right fats, okay? Let's talk about the right fats real fast. Like, yes, we all love keto, and you're going to see all kinds of bacon posts and cheese and all this stuff, but that is not what you want to eat all day, okay? It's not an all-day bacon and cheese diet, okay? Although that is a perk. You can have some bacon and not feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be fat because I'm eating this bacon. All right, I definitely splurge with bacon too, but that's not an all-day thing. The right fats are not fried fats, okay? So most of the time, if you go anywhere and order anything fried, what are they making that fried food in? It is in canola or soy or vegetable oils, and that is what you want to stay far away from. Now, if you go home and you get some avocado oil and you maybe get some almond flour and you batter some chicken and you deep fry that up in a pan, cool, so be it. But choosing the right fats is super, super key, okay? Carbs, you wanna push away the really starchy stuff, and you definitely want to, like I said, get rid of the grains, but push away the potatoes, even sweet potatoes for right now, okay? We're going to really try to limit some of these things. I'm going to focus on eliminating those bad things so that you naturally are going to get to those numbers. If you take out, like I said, the sugars, the grains, and the junky oils, if you take those things out from your diet, you will naturally fall into a 70, and of course if you're eating the fats that you need, but you'll naturally fall into the 70, the 25, and the 5 for your numbers, okay, for your macros. So for 21 days, we're going to take out all that junk, we're going to get our bodies used to eating a little bit healthier, and then we're going to go boom, ketosis, fat adapted, okay? So number 2 is fast. So you want to start eating, or stop eating, at 7 p.m., by 7 p.m. Some people might stop at 6 p.m., some people stop at 7, but stop eating at 7 p.m. And there is so much science and research behind this because our bodies, naturally, our circadian rhythm goes with the setting and the rising of the sun. So all of our hormones start changing. So it's not just we're saying don't eat past 7 just because, it's truly because the hormonal effects that go on inside of your body. So stop eating before 7 p.m., have your last meal, okay? And see if you can fast till 7 a.m. So nothing at all. No food, nothing till 7 a.m., okay? That's going to give you a 12-hour fast. Your body should burn through all the stored glucose, which is sugar, all the stored sugar and the junky stuff. That should be all burned up by the time you wake up if you can do that, a 12-hour fast, okay? So no snacking after 7 p.m. If for some reason if you're like, I'm going to stop eating at 7 p.m. and you're going to try to go to 7 a.m. and you're feeling really, really hungry, grab what you would call fat bomb. So you're going to research some of the recipes for those, but grab something that's just fat, okay? And that should hold you over. But hopefully you can have no problems fasting from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. If you can go a little bit longer, that's fantastic. If you can't, don't worry. You're not there yet. That's okay. That's not a big deal. But if you can get from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., you have made a huge step already. All right. Ketosis may not happen in that first night. That's okay. You might not get into it for 3 days. You might not get into it for 2 to 3 weeks. It varies for everyone, but we can still get your body prepared. And by cutting out the junk and getting into the keto diet, you're going to make major changes on the inside, okay? And we're going to be fully prepared for those things. Ketosis, again, does not start until all that glucose is used up first. So that's why fasting is super important. Usually about the 3rd day, most people will start to burn stored fat and ketones. So if you are really strict on these first 3 days, you can definitely get your body to starting to burn fat, starting to burn ketones. It's going to be like, hey, okay, I think I know what I'm doing here, and it's going to start going into that process. The other thing that is really fascinating and very weird is keto flu, okay? This happened to me day 4. And I, mind you, am not a huge carbohydrate fan, and I am not a big sugar person either, okay? But when I went very strict, cut everything out, no sugars, I went to my pantry, fridge, threw away everything, left some stuff for the kids, but have special shelves in my refrigerator just for my keto stuff, special shelves in the pantry. I focus, if I'm hungry, that's the only shelves I look at in the refrigerator and the pantry. So day 4 was awful, okay? Literally felt like the flu. Day 5, still a little bit of those symptoms, but it was starting to go away, okay? After a couple days, total different body, I felt like, okay? So keto flu is real. May or may not happen to you, but if 2, 3, 4, 5 days, a week later, you start feeling really cruddy, you are withdrawing from sugar. Can you believe that that's what it does to your body? It's mind-blowing. Sugar is truly an addiction. So if you can fast for longer, then go for it. And we're going to talk a little bit about some tips on that too. And I will give you some ideas of something that I do. But a good thing to keep in mind is fast until when. And when means when hunger ensues naturally. So fast as long as you can. So if you wake up at 7 and you're like, well, I'm not really that hungry at all. So maybe in an hour, you're like, oh, I'm starting to get a little hungry. Maybe you can have a high-fat keto coffee, and that can hold you over and get you through for a little while, okay? And then maybe by 10 or 11, you're like, oh, I'm actually hungry. Like, I can feel it. My stomach's growling, or, I do feel hunger, so I'm going to eat something. So we're going to fuel up with the good fats. We're going to fuel up with moderate protein. Now, again, we don't want to get into the high protein. We don't want to do that. And there's so much research behind this. What happens is if you have excess protein in your body turns that into, guess what? Glucose.
It's 9 o'clock.
Your body literally turns protein into sugar, basically, glucose. So, and then what does it do? It stores it as fat. Okay, so now you know, you don't need too much protein, all right? Now if you're lifting weights, if you're heavy in the gym or doing extreme workouts or anything like that, you may need a little extra protein, but protein is not going to be the bulk of your diet when you're going keto, okay? And complex carbs. So good fats, complex carbs, low carbs. Make sure you're eating the right foods. Again, we're going to talk about that. Enough fat so you don't backslide. If you feel like you're going to backslide into sugar, you need more fat in your diet, healthy fats. If you feel like I'm hungry and not satisfied, you need more fat in your diet, okay? You're going to probably feel like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of fat. That's how I felt in the beginning. But trust me, you're going to find a place where you feel fully satisfied, okay? We're going to talk about super fuel. So a lot of you guys are coming into the 60-day challenge. Like I know I have some customers in here that are starting with ketones with me or keto coffee. So what does that look like? Super fuel or ketones can put you right into ketosis, right? And we want our bodies to know how to use that, which is why we're eating a keto diet. So the ketones, the keto go, the keto coffee, those are going to be all super fuel to get you faster results. So what does a daily routine look like in keto? That is ketones first thing in the morning. All right, so you wake up, it's 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. or whatever, you're going to take your ketones and water if you're taking ketone supplements. If you're not, that's fine. Don't worry about that. Then you're going to have, you want to wait at least an hour. You want those ketones to get working in your blood. You want your body to know that you're not going to give it any carbs or sugar. You're going to probably hit it with some oil or some high-fat coffee first or some healthy fats. So about an hour later or maybe mid-morning, you can go into your keto coffee or high-fat coffee. If you don't have keto coffee from our company, which we do offer, then you can do something like an MCT oil or some butter or some collagen. Mix it in your coffee, tastes amazing, okay, and that's what our keto coffee is in a packet ready to go. So you can do a high-fat coffee, and that's so great because you're not putting protein and you're not putting carbs. You're just giving yourself a dose of healthy fats so it knows, okay, we're going to go into fat burning mode, okay? So that's going to help you stay into that ketosis and fat burning. Then your first meal will be your breakfast or your lunch, depending. Sometimes I'm a little bit hungry and I will go for an omelet with veggies. I mean, I load up my omelet, okay? Sometimes I go for an omelet, bacon and sausage or whatever, and I use full eggs, not egg whites. We're going to step away from egg whites, okay? Or I'll go into lunch. If I have a high-fat coffee and maybe it holds me over till lunch, then I'll go to my lunch, all right? So whenever you feel like hunger has come naturally, then you're going to eat your first meal. This is a big key, and this is always overlooked, but I really started to practice this quite a bit more in the last couple months, but you've got to have adequate sleep. Your body has to know that it has recovery time. It has time to burn through glucose, clarity time, and then stress management. So those things are so key, and I know you're like, what does this have to do with my diet? Well, let me tell you, if your hormones are all crazy, it does not matter what you're eating, what you're doing, how much you're exercising. Go kill yourself at the gym if you want. But if your stress hormones are through the roof, good luck with trying to get stuff to go away, all right? So, and we can tell because stress hormones hold fat in certain areas of our body, all right? So, adequate sleep, 7 to 8 hours, all right? Stress management, prayer, meditation, exercise, whatever that looks like for you, but find a way to relieve stress every day. Take 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you need, okay? Give yourself that time because that helps your hormones stay in check, which helps everything work together. All right, so adequate sleep, all right? We're going to spend 21 days getting our bodies really ready, and some of you guys are going to go into ketosis, and some of you guys are going to be fat adapted within this 21-day time frame, and some of you are going to need 21 days to fully kick all this stuff and get your body ready for ketosis and fat adaptation. If you're eating 300 grams of carbs right now and you go down to 50 grams of carbs, you're going to stress your body out, which is not good. So I want you guys to focus on 21 days. Let's get rid of the crap. Let's get our bodies ready to go into full ketosis so we can feel amazing. I promise you, if you do this for 21 days, by the time you get to that 21-day mark, some may take a little longer than 21 days, okay? Especially if you're cheating here and there or whatever. But you will feel amazing. So 21 days, reset, no sugars, no grains, no oils, no alcohol, no sweetened beverages, okay? So 21 days, kick that stuff out. By doing that, you're naturally going to fall into a range of probably 75 to 100, maybe less than 75 grams of carbs, okay? By naturally eating just healthier carbs, healthier foods, you're going to fall naturally into that. And that's okay. You can be a little bit above. When we go after those 21 days, we are going to jump right into ketosis, and we are going to drop our carbs to under 50 grams, and we are going to be a lot more strict on what we're eating. In order for you to stay in ketosis and stay keto adapted, you have got to be really strict, and it is not easy to just go from a regular type of diet to jumping into ketosis. You will stress your body out. So then in 21 days, we will drop down carbs. If you'll go to maybe under 50. If you're super active, you can go up to 50 grams. If you're not active, you might stay around the 20 grams, maybe 30 grams of carbs, just depending on your activity level. But we want to get into nutritional ketosis, and that's where I promise the magic is going to happen, all right? Do not skip over this 21 days of getting rid of this junk, all right? Be super strict on sugars, grains, not one bite if you can. If you're like me, I'm super competitive, so I'm like, you tell me no, I'm not going to do it, okay? So no sugars, no grains, not one bite, because it can literally backslide everything and all your hard work, okay? Push past the keto flu if you get it. It's okay. Say it like, oh my gosh, I feel so crappy right now. And I'm going to say, girl, that was me day 4. Okay, so share that so we can encourage you to keep pushing past it. It's just going to be a day or two, but you might feel like crud. We want you to have the best results possible so that after these 60 days, you feel amazing, you've lost weight, you've reached some of your goals, and you can go out and keep this lifestyle.
Thank you so much for watching, and again, subscribe.